It is a gorgeous night out in the garden, and we're harvesting goodies for supper. And Tink is out helping us. Aren't you, Tink? He says, try this. But in all fairness, we're actually really talking about tackling a little bit of the weeds in the garden anyways. So we are going to be doing some stinging nettles, which I've already picked and got in the bowl. Some red clover, which is delicious. We actually been eating this on pizza and all sorts of stuff lately. And we're lucky enough to have these wonderful beet greens from the beets that we overwintered in our little plastic cover thing, which as you can see is lying on the ground, and we really need to put that away before it deteriorates. And we're also going to harvest up a little bit of this wild lettuce and throw it into the stir fry as well, because it needs to come out of there, and it is pretty tasty this time of year. You just want to watch how much you're using. So we're not going to take too much, but waste not, want not. Tink is so cute helping in the garden. He's doing so well and growing like crazy now, although you wouldn't know it if you put him beside the other sheep. What do you think, bud? Right now he's cleaning out the dead stuff from the Jerusalem artichokes. So tell us what you've got for our stir fry, Chris.
I've got common plantain. So we actually have several species of plantain that just grow around the yard. This was a larger one because we're actually going to cook it. But yeah, it's one of those anti-inflammatory type plants. So we're going to see what it's like in a stir fry. Next on the foraging list is some garlic mustard. This is getting a little old, but it's still edible. And the more we eat, the less we have. So add that to the bowl as well. Well, we're back in the house, and as you can see, daylight's getting a little bit waning out there, but I'll show you what we actually ended up collecting in the end for dinner. And there it is, 2 bowls full of greens. So the greens on the right side there are the garlic mustard leaves. I just take the leaves off the stem and just works. I think you might be able to eat the stem, but they're a little tough, so we're just going to do the leaves. And then we've got our mixed bowl of a bunch of stuff, a little bit of stuff from the actual garden, some red Russian kale and some Detroit red beet tops. But the rest is all basically, air quotations, weeds. So it's pretty nice to have some of this stuff because this is a lot of greens and quite a bit of diversity. So sometimes it is nice to have weeds that you can eat, especially when your garden is not producing at sort of maximum capacity. Well, I've kind of plunged ahead a little bit, but I'm going to show you where I'm at because it's pretty much ready to eat now. So first things first, there's a lot of stuff I've added to this. None of it's really in big quantities. So it's got some cranberries, some sunflower seeds, some of our pickled turnips, some of our peanuts, a little bit of peanut butter, some raisins, some sesame seeds, and then a little dash of white wine vinegar, toasted sesame oil, some oil from our homemade red peppers that we canned, a little bit of soy sauce, fish sauce, which maybe one day we'll make, soy sauce, and some sweet Thai chili sauce. But I'll take you over and show you what it looks like. So there it is, cooking away. So I'm just about ready to add the rice to this and take it off the heat. But it looks pretty good, and it's quite the assortment of greens. So just as kind of the recap, it's got the garlic mustard, red clover leaves, some of the wild lettuce, very little bit of that, the stinging nettles, which are the dark colored one there, some red Russian kale, and some Detroit red beet greens. So all in all, should be pretty healthy, and looks quite pretty actually. I also added some bell pepper to it, which we normally wouldn't have at this time of year, but we had in the fridge, so in it went. So there we go. I've added the rice and mixed everything in pretty good. Forgot to mention too, we did put in about a half a goose breast that was already cooked. Kind of a little bit of protein in here, but the whole point is to try to make all this go a little further, and there was a lot of greens put in there, and it should be pretty healthy. So realistically, you can't eat grass, but you can eat an awful lot of the weeds, and some of them are pretty healthy for you. So hopefully that's some food for thought, or thought for food. We're going to enjoy our dinner now, and yeah, if nothing else, at least it kind of shows you that in the early spring especially, there's a lot that maybe just growing around your house that you can turn into a pretty decent looking and tasty meal.